Carter G. Woodson is also the founder of the Journal of Negro History, founder of Black History Week at that time. Now it's Black Liberation Month, or depending on who you're talking to. But he's the founder of that idea of every year having a celebration of African American history. Then there were the social gospel ministers. Adam Clayton Powell in New York at Abyssinian Baptist Church. He wants to have an answer to the Depression. The social gospel, trying to go out like Cecil Williams in San Francisco at Glide Memorial Church. Well, Adam Clayton Powell is trying to do some of the same things during the 1930s. In Atlanta, there's another guy by the name of Martin Luther King Sr., who is a social gospel minister, leading voting rights marches, trying to get equal salaries for black teachers as well as equal to those of white teachers. Another person by the name of George Baker, who's better known as Father Divine. Father Divine probably gains the most massive following of any religious leader during the 1930s. He convinces a number of followers, probably at least into the hundreds of thousands, that he is the true and living God. He preaches racial integration. He also preaches that they should give all their wealth to the movement, which is typical of a lot of groups. And it meant that he lived very well. But one of the things he did, he had his own answer to the problems of the Depression by pooling all the wealth of the black community, opening up peace kitchens, distributing free food. The free food became a way of getting new members to come in. They would then devote all of their wealth to the movement, and you would be able to deliver more free food. So it was a program that worked. It was kind of a pyramid scheme, and there's a limit to how far it was going to work. But for a long time, there was this sense that Father Divine could do nothing but good, and was able to confront problems that even the communists had difficulty confronting, because the communists had difficulty delivering a meal to hungry people. They could promise the revolution, but Father Divine could deliver food. So there were so many of the other individuals who I could name, but all of them were many of them were part of what Du Bois had always celebrated, that is the talented tenth. These were the people who were supposed to uplift the race. Now, he assumed that they would kind of follow his lead. By the 1930s, they were going in other directions. They were beginning to argue for industrial unions. They were beginning to argue for direct action tactics to deal with segregation and other problems. Many of them ultimately decided that the answers to the problems of the Depression would not come from the NAACP, but would instead come from government. Now, that was similar to what the communists were saying, but they were saying a new revolutionary government. What many of these people were saying, we've got the government. What is it? Roosevelt's New Deal. 1933, Franklin Roosevelt becomes president, and he begins to deliver an answer to the problems of the Depression. And furthermore, there is a prominent black person who becomes the face of the Roosevelt administration in the black community. Her name